Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge. Today is day 98. 98. 100. I have got my little treat for you all organised. It might not be a treat, but it's definitely amusing. Please make sure that you check my website so that you're keeping safe, adapting poses as you need to, so that you're really helpful for your body. And do subscribe if you would like to, because post day 100 there will be some form of yoga every day. It's just that I'm kind of holding on to day 100 or 101 to unveil. I think it'll be 101 when I tell you all about it. So if you want to bring yourself to start with, just to sitting onto the floor. So you're going to have a little bit of space behind the knees. You might need to be up on a block so that you're comfortable. So do take that block if you find this sort of thing happening. So if you feel your tummy dropping back and find yourself unable to bring the hip bones slightly further in to get the lower back to lengthen up. And from here, you're just going to start to draw yourself back. So we're going into that kind of curving back shape. And then you're going to lift up and onto the sit bones and arch your back a little. And we're going to go back and forth a couple of times. So just go with your breathing so it feels nice and easy. And that your breathing stays relaxed and gentle. And enjoy that feeling of easing back and forth. So on one level we're moving the spine and keeping the spine healthy, but also obviously we are working with the tummy muscles and strengthening the kind of movement of the body that way. And then you're going to bring yourself up to sitting. You're going to lean yourself up and forward, so we're getting that kind of tipping forward fold. The chest is remaining quite high to start with. And you're just going to ease yourself forwards over both legs. Just for a moment and then back up again. And then you're going to take one leg and you're just going to cross it over the other one. So it's just a loose cross so that the ankles are connected in some way. And you're going to take the opposite hand over the top. And you're just going to slide yourself forward so we end up with an asymmetrical forward bend. Just notice what are the bits that feel that they can stretch out for you, what are the bits that feel like they're holding you back. Where can you get a feeling of more space in the spine? Can you let your elbows drop down a little bit more? And take an easy breath wherever you are. And then walk your hands back up your legs. You're going to swap over, so other leg comes over the front, other hand comes over the front, so opposite hand to foot. You're putting your hands onto your legs and then you're just going to fold forwards, allowing yourself to ease down and shrug out of it so the shoulders can lift and then release down. The back can widen out and you're just getting that feeling of lengthening out. And then walk yourself back up to come up to sitting. Get a feeling of releasing the shoulders down the back of the body. And then we're going to come up to standing. So bring your feet in towards you, come up through a forward bend, so a little bit of softness through the knees. And then press down through the feet, lift up through the hands, up through the tummy, all the way up and overhead, and hands come down to your heart. And then if you bring yourself onto your mat, and from here you're going to take your feet wide onto the mat. So just come to about hip width to start with. You're going to let your hands come out to the side, shoulders relax down the back of the body, elbows sink slightly towards the floor. And you're going to take your toes so that they're pointing slightly out. So from straight forward, so the toes face slightly wide. And then you're going to sink yourself down so that your knees come over your ankles. Press down through the feet, bring yourself back up. Hands come down, choosing whether you want to take your feet wider again. So do make sure, I've got one foot on my mat, but make sure that you're both feet on your mat if you're coming to wider feet. So same thing, toes are wide, you're going to let the knees start to come wide, hands are going to relax, shoulders sink and elbows slightly drop to keep the back of the body relaxed. You're going to sink yourself further into it, you're going to let your hands come up and overhead, and then you're going to let your hands come down to your head. And then press into your feet to bring yourself back up, stretch up with the fingertips all the way out and all the way down. And then we're going to do that one more time where we synchronise the movement of the hands coming up and sinking down all together. So from here, settle down through the feet. Feel that connection down through the outside edges of your feet, that little bit of life coming up through the legs and through the body and out hopefully to the fingertips and beyond you. And then letting your hands come up and overhead. Palms join, shoulders sink. And then sink down through the hands, down through the knees. Let the knees come wide. And then press in through the feet to bring yourself back up. Stretch all the way out and down. And then bring your feet back in again. And we're going to come to the floor. So if you bring yourself to lying onto the floor on your back just now. So come down a way that suits you, but a nice way of doing it, if you curl your back, so don't do it with a flat back, it won't be nice at all, but if you curl your back, so drop your tummy back and drop the back of your waist down towards the floor, and then just gradually, slowly, see if you can let yourself ease back. And then at some point you find the floor. Lovely. So from settled, comfortable position on your back, you're going to let your legs come up, take the feet a little bit wide, and you're going to wrap one leg over the other. And then from here, you're going to wrap your leg around the back of your other one if you want to. And both shins are going to come more or less parallel towards the floor. So it might be that it's just this sort of cross with your legs. It could be the ankles, it could be the knees and the feet wide, or it could be that fully wrapped round. Shoulders are going to relax onto the floor and bring your elbows slightly close in towards you. And then from here, you're going to follow your top knee. So your top knee is starting to come over. You're just going to follow it round so you end up with your feet or one foot or a bit of foot touching the floor or floating high. And just allow yourself to enjoy being here. So enjoy being here means adapt it. Bring your hands in, bring your hands out, undo your feet, move your hips. Do what it is that feels good. You're going to bring your knees in towards you and then up towards the centre. And we're going to swap ourselves over. So take the legs wide, give them feet a little bit of a move around and a little bit of a stretch. And then opposite foot comes over the top, or opposite leg. It can wrap round the back if you would like. Legs come towards that parallel to the floor. Keep the elbows close in to start with as you bring your knees over towards the side so that you make contact in some way with the floor. Let your hands move to where it would feel good so that you feel that as you're breathing, you've got that lovely feeling that you can expand into the space that you have and beyond the space you have. And then bring your elbows close in towards you, bring the knees up to the centre, undo with the legs, give them a little bit of a move, let the toes come and squash in and then out, and then in and then out. And then we're going to come up to sitting. So if you come up a way that you would like, I quite like that kind of rolling up and in, but however works for you. And then if you bring yourself just to comfortable sitting. So can you just start to notice what the shoulders are doing as you breathe? So if you're finding your shoulders are lifting up and down as you're breathing, we're going to see if we can let that settle a little bit more. So you might feel a movement through the muscles at the upper back that somehow affect the shoulders, but see if you can come to a position or come to a way of breathing where you're breathing more to the movement being in the central part of you. And use that slight slowing of the out-breath so that the out-breath gets a little bit longer, a little bit steadier. You can connect with that feeling of being a little bit calmer, a little bit more settled. Just take a couple of easy breaths like that. Okay. So then just come back to your normal easy breathing. My challenge for you today is to notice your breathing on 3 times or more during today. So that doesn't mean that you have to do anything particular. It doesn't mean that you dig in the garden and you go, oh my goodness, I better do some yoga breathing now. Of course you can. Fantastic. Do sit among the potatoes. Do your breathing. Lovely. But more than that, it's that awareness of what's going on in that moment, so that whatever you're doing, you suddenly think, oh, right, okay, when I was doing yoga, that's what my breathing was doing. And now I'm cutting the vegetables or scrubbing the floor, my breathing's doing this. So that we become more aware of what happens in the physical body, we become more aware of the patterns of when we're kind of pushing ourselves, pushing our breathing, or when we become more aware that we're just like, yeah, whatever, kind of bored, a bit dull, a bit tamasic. So just looking for that, how is your breath moving and feeling in your day, and what does that reflect that you can learn from? And your quote for the day. God only knows, I don't, what keeps me laughing. The stem of a flower when it moves, completely wrong. God only knows, I don't, what keeps me laughing. The stem of a flower moves when the air moves. This is a Rumi quote. It doesn't sound like one of his normal quotes, but it's a goodie. Made me laugh anyway. Made me laugh so much I can't read it. God only knows, I don't, what keeps me laughing. The stem of a flower moves when the air moves. I like that so much, just like the kind of simple connection. It's like coming back to that childlike state of everything's a miracle if you want it to be. Everything or nothing. Everything. Hope you have a lovely day watching flowers move, or watching the stems of flowers move, and breathing and at least noticing it.